Gholdengo is an insanely versatile Pokemon. It's a great balance piece that checks off a lot of boxes, but it can also be incredibly offensive. And this week, I think if I get it on the field at the right time while sticky webs are up, it will have the ability to just dominate the game. This build was a complicated one, so let me walk you through my thought process. This is the 4th week of Pokemon Draft League battles for the SPL, and if you've missed my other uploads, you can find the playlist with them in the description down below. My opponent this week is one of the dopest dudes I know, and my good friend Kyle A. Kyle is known for his offbeat sets and the spice he brings each week, so this one will probably be a whirlwind of a battle. Definitely go check him out along with the other SPL coaches. All relevant links will be found in the description down below. This is the team Kyle drafted, a really diverse cast of Pokemon with hard-hitting threats like Roaring Moon and Rillaboom, backed up with a ton of diverse Pokemon like Alola Ninetales and Mew. This team specifically is going to be pretty hard to prep for because a lot of the Pokemon here can fill multiple roles, and Kyle has some lower tier threats that are amazing brings into my team. So let's break down what I'm bringing. Chiyu is coming once again because it has really solid matchups into most of Kyle's team, and the only Pokemon he has that are really good at switching into its dual stabs are Tauros Fish and Roaring Moon. Both still take a solid hit, and if I can call a switch correctly and set up a substitute, Psychic can destroy the Water Bowl, and Roaring Moon will still take enough damage from Flamethrower to put it in range of Spidops of all Pokemon. Speaking of which, Spidops is definitely coming this week, because like I said in the intro, if I can get webs up and keep them up, the game looks entirely winnable by Gholdengo alone. First Impression gives me an emergency button against both Rillaboom and Roaring Moon, doing about 70 to 80% on both of them, stopping either from sweeping late game as long as they have a little bit of damage on them. Cyclizar gives me a way to keep hazards off my side of the field, which I think will be incredibly important this week, and Ice Spinner and Iron Head let him check Gligar and Alola Ninetales respectively. Dragon Tail can be used to stop any predicted setup attempts, and the Assault Vest here lets Cyclizar live a Blizzard from what I'm predicting most Ninetale sets in Kyle's range this week will be, and be able to regenerate off the damage for later. Kleavor has a really solid time this week just clicking Stone Axe, with the only real resists being Revavroom and Tauros, and the Scarf lets it play as an offensive pivot to get small bursts of damage and momentum, which will be massive here. The Hideous Flying Turtle comes as a way to check a metric ton of Kyle's threats, and when I say that, I mean it. Enamorous Therian here is just a wall to most of Kyle's Pokemon, and more importantly, with a few free turns to set up Calm Minds and Iron Defenses, this Pokemon turns into our secondary win condition. And finally, Gholdengo here is the star of the show. Air Balloon stops Gligar from immediately threatening a ton of damage, and Kyle's team has no real answer to the stab combination of Ghost and Steel, and Nasty Plot plus Recover give it the ability to boost its stats while shrugging off weaker hits. I have a good bit of defense investment this week to sponge hits against scary threats like Roaring Moon as long as we are at full health, and with webs up, Gholdengo will outrun Kyle's entire team if they are unboosted. So let's get into it. This week, Kyle brings a team of Bellibolt, Mew, Colossal, Gligar, Roaring Moon, and Tauros. The lack of Rillaboom, Ninetales, and Revavroom are insane to me since those Pokemon seem so good in preparation, but in retrospect, that is a lot of Chiyu food, so I understand the exclusion. I lead off with Kleavor into Tauros Splash, and already this is not a fantastic lead. I switch into Enamorous on the first turn as Kyle just sends an Aqua Jet that barely scratches Enamorous. I don't want to get caught in the trap of trying to set up too early, so I click Draining Kiss as a middle ground play, and Kyle switches into Bellibolt, which is pretty predictable and makes me regret not just hard clicking Earth Power or Calm Mind. Enamorous being healthy is important for the late game, so I switch into Cyclizar, and the fucked up Frog goes for a Charge Beam, which is both equally terrifying in the grand scheme of things since I don't have the best way to damage this Pokemon, but also a pretty good spot currently for my Assault Vest Bicycle Lizard. We swallow a Parabolic Charge on the next turn and then proceed to Dragon Tail the Bellibolt into Colossal. I stay in again and click Dragon Tail, trying to fish for a Pokemon I'm comfortable switching into, but Kyle next levels me here and terastallizes this actual lump of coal into a fairy and sets up Stealth Rocks, which is not an ideal turn for the home team. I decide to stay in an Iron Head the Warm Rocks on the next turn, and it does respectable damage and manages to snag the flinch. There's no reason to overpredict here, so I click it again as Cal switches Colossal into Gligar, who comes in and takes a soft hit. And while that's not a ton of damage, it actually is kind of a lot for Eviolite Gligar, so I'm pretty confident that the bat is more specially defensive this week, which makes a ton of sense against my team. An Ice Spinner on the next turn does an absolutely massive amount of damage, and just to add context to that, Gligar was probably probably around 85% before this turn, and to a defensive set, Ice Spinner would still be a 3-hit KO from this range. But this little dude just gets dropped to well under half health, and then just sets up a layer of spikes, which is a fantastic turn for me. Kyle has no spin blockers, so on the next turn I rapid spin the last few turns of entry hazards away as Kyle switches into Mew. I'm kind of set that the Mew could be the double dance Calm Mind variant, so I click Dragon Tail, but in real life the Mew just blows back my Lizard with a close combat, which is a tough loss because Cyclizar is putting in a ton of work in this game, but still definitely set us up for a decent mid game. I bring out Kleavor to threaten the Mew and just lock into U-turn, and unless Mew is scarfed, I should always outspeed, and even if it is scarfed, I always live one close combat, so this seemed like the most free play. Tauros Puddle comes out, getting an Intimidate drop, and then taking the softest of taps as Kleavor U-turns into a Namarus. It's still definitely early in the game, but this feels like a solid spot considering Kyle's last play pattern, so I decide to go for a Calm Mind, and sure enough, Kyle switches into Belly Bolt. Based on the damage my last Draining Kiss did, and the fact that we saw Charge Beam and no leftovers, I'm kind of assuming this is an AV set, which I'm fairly certain I can break through with enough boosts. We go back and forth for a long time, and during that period, I managed to get up 4 Calm Minds and 1 Iron Defense, but eventually, Namarus gets relatively low from the steady stream of Charge Beams and Parabolic Charges, and I decide it's time to click Draining Kiss in an attempt to get some valuable HP back. The Kiss connects and does absolutely nothing, but still heals for a solid amount because of the HP discrepancy, and thanks to Electromorphosis, the incoming Volt Switch does a ton of damage back, leaving a Namarus at only 64 HP after leftovers and on the field against a Roaring Moon. The Volt Switch was immaculate timing on Kyle's part, and sitting in front of this demon with such a low HP stat causes my stomach to sink. I accidentally ran my calcs without AV, and the damage looked so strong, but that just wasn't the case. And even more depressing, I think there was a non-0% chance that Earth Power could just KO, or if I just clicked Iron Defense again, that Namarus could actually live an attack from Roaring Moon. But we misplayed, and on the next turn, Namarus just goes down to an Iron Head. This does reveal that Roaring Moon's item is Life Orb, which at a bare minimum puts me in a decent late game spot if I can kit up Sticky Webs. I bring Kleavor back out and click U-turn, which forces Kyle into Gligar, and I don't think I can find a better time to drop my Goldfish on the field, so I do it now. I can't afford to let Kyle set up hazards again, so I have to pressure him out at every opportunity. I click Substitute, predicting a switch into Tauros, but instead the Colossal comes back out. On the first turn, I bop it with a Psychic, which brings it under half, and the Pile of Coal breaks my sub with a Stone Edge. Based on that damage roll, I infer that a follow-up Flamethrower will kill, and this is where I make another incredibly large mistake. For some context here, I've only ever played with or against this Pokemon in the VGC format, where it is commonly used for its Steam Engine ability. If I hit it with a Fire-type attack, its Steam Engine ability will trigger, maxing out its speed stat, but that's a risk I'm willing to take because, again, Flamethrower looks like a clean kill from this range. I did not know this Pokemon got Flash Fire. Yeah, so needless to say, I trigger its Flash Fire and he cracks back with a Heat Crash, probably predicting a switch here, but I'm too stupid to make that play. Heat Crash does a solid chunk to Chi-Yu, and since I actually don't have a switch into this attack left on my team, I just stay in, get another chunk of damage off with Psychic, and let my fish go down. Really bad play on my part. I bring out Kleavor because the only endgame I see at this point is figuring out a way to force Kyle into a favorable matchup for Gholdengo. I click Stone Axe hoping to get late game rocks up and break a potential Focus Sash on Mew as Kyle switches into Tauros Trickle, and my Stone Axe just misses, which is unfortunate. I need Kleavor to pressure Pokemon out later, and against the Bull, I think it's time to set up my only real win con. I switch into Spidops, who easily lives a Raging Bull, and with leftovers it looks like I can take 2 more hits before dying. So I set up my Sticky Webs, and then a layer of Spikes to break a Focus Sash, and then on the final turn I get a massive Sucker Punch off for some insane chip on the Water Buffalo before Spidops goes down. I bring Kleavor back in, and honestly, this is a do or die moment. If I can force Tauros to switch here, Gholdengo actually has a shot, but if he stays in, the Bull probably just cleans up the game. Thankfully, I brought Dual Wing Beat Kleavor to last week's game to threaten Annihilate, so I'm hoping that 1, Kyle A saw that game and knows I bring Dual Wing Beat Kleavor into scary fighting types, and 2, that he still values Tauros Raindrop enough to switch it out. I lock into close combat with nothing more than hopes and prayers, really, and Kyle switches out. Game on. I can't possibly commentate the rest of this match better than it happened live, so enjoy. Please just switch out. You know I brought dual wing beat last week. I need you to switch this Tauros out, because if it stays in, it outspeeds Gholdengo. My whole game is ruined. Please, Kyle, come on. Just make the call. The bull is still valuable. I may only have 2 Pokemon left. You have infinite material, but the bull, it's worth everything, man. Tauros Spittle here has got kills to claim, and if you leave it in on dual wing beat, it might die. Oh my god, thank goodness. Okay, we have an N. Colossal might live close combat here? No, it doesn't. Okay, it was a mono fairy type. It could have lived. Please, just go back into Bull. I think Bull is what I have to set up on. Bull is what Gholdengo has to set up on. I know it's not Scarfed. I don't really know its item at all. I have no clue. Back out with the bull, baby. I respect it. This line makes sense. This is what we were hoping for. I didn't have dual wing beat. I'm intimidated. I don't care. Let's get a close combat off. After Intimidate, that's actually pretty reasonable chip. Cleavor goes down here to a Raging Bull. All right, come on, Gholdengo, let's go. It is your time to shine. Hopefully the Tauros does not have Earthquake. We'll dodge 1 thanks to an air balloon, but if it has Earthquake, the game is over anyways. Nasty plot, baby. We got a plot. If this thing is Scarfed, I think it still outspeeds. I don't think I know its item yet. I'm almost positive I don't know its item yet. If I do know its item, I've lost that. My ADD brain has let that information go. It is out in the aether. Okay, what's the game plan? Probably just another Raging Bull. Nasty plot, we outspeed, not Scarfed, or an incredibly slow Scarf, maybe like only outpacing, I don't know, max speed Greninja. Raging Bull does nothing. That is such a good damage roll for us. Please do not have Earthquake. Okay, I think we have to alternate between plots and recovers at this point. I'm gonna go for another plot here, obviously. Nasty plot up again. Please don't have Earthquake. Please don't have Earthquake. You don't have Earthquake, right? Okay. All right, sick. This is great. All right, we recover off the damage. Easy, get that done. I think the kind of like rhythm here is gonna be plot, plot, recover, recover, plot, recover, recover. And from that point, hope to win. I think I have to get to +6 just because I don't want to mess around. And in front of the bull, I might as well. Like +4 might work. I definitely recover here, right? Okay, yeah, we definitely recover here. We need the little bit of health. It looks like Raging Bull is doing, I don't know, 33 to like 40 something % damage. So we always out recover the damage. We end up healthier. Now it's plot to get to +6. I think I could do +4, but I don't want to go and do the math. I don't remember how healthy Belly Bolt is. It was AV as fuck for sure. Okay, so it's just recover, recover. Then it's offense time, baby. It's offense time. Let's go. Let's go. Can we pull the reverse? We were about to get 6-0'd. Can we pull the reverse from the 6-0 to the 1-0? All right, recover. The crit is unfortunate. This means triple recover. Honestly, the crit is kind of inconsequential here. I think we just recover 1 more time. Get our sweet health back. Thank God this Tauros did not have a ground type attack. And we're at full. This is as good as it ever gets from this point. It's time to attack. All right, Shadow Ball the Tauros. The Tauros is mega super ultra dead. The Tauros did not stand a chance. Aqua Jet here would be unfortunate because that's just extra damage. No Jet. Is this Tauros a choice item? I'm very confused. It's definitely not choice band, because choice band, it would have been doing something like 60%. Maybe like 50% on the minimum if it had, I don't know, if it was banded but not max attack. What do you bring in next? If he has any priority or any Scarfers, this is rough. Okay, we don't actually know Mew's item. Does Mew get Sucker Punch? I mean, if it does, it's not like I can really super play around it. I think, okay, so the Mew took Spikes, the Mew took Webs, it's not Boots. I don't think I can just predict Sucker Punch. I don't think, does Mew get Sucker Punch? No, Mew doesn't get Sucker Punch. If the Mew is Scarfed, this is so rough. Bro, Flare Blitz, and it's scarfed? Yeah, the Mew was not only choice scarfed, but it had Flare Blitz, which is an insane last minute reveal and such a tough pill to swallow because I felt so close to winning there. And actually, you know what? Hold on, let's watch that back. Bro, Flare Blitz, and it's scarfed? I hate this game. We actually live on 10 HP. Holy shit, dude, we actually live on 10 HP. This had to be his one answer, right? Oh, that's right. We lived on just 10 HP, but I purposefully cut that part out and played the sad music to emotionally manipulate you. Here's how the game actually ended. Does Roaring Moon get Sucker Punch? Oh my God, if Roaring Moon gets Sucker Punch, I'm so pissed off. If Roaring Moon gets Sucker Punch, I'm so pissed off right now. Okay, it doesn't get Sucker Punch. Why does Roaring Moon not get Sucker Punch? That makes zero sense to me. We have an actual chance here. I don't think he has any form of priority left. The Roaring Moon, we know we outspeed, it's Life Orb. This Gholdengo is made to outpace max speed Roaring Moon. Moaning Moon is done. It's done. It doesn't have any priority. All right, okay, the Moon's gone. And then what's left? Belly Bolt? Belly Bolt's still alive. Gligar's still alive. Oh my God, if the Gligar is like a fast Gligar, if the Gligar is a fast Gligar, bro, you got us. This thing's gone. This was not an issue. It doesn't have priority. Okay, please don't be fast Gligar. I know that thing was squishy, but I think it's because it's specially defensive. I haven't hit it with a special attack yet. Just don't be a plus speed nature. If Gligar is a plus speed nature, we lose. And I mean, that's that. But I think we got it here. Okay, Belly Bolt next. That's promising for us because if he was plus speed Gligar, I feel like he would go out into it. This thing is mega dead. +5 Shadow Ball is going to kill it. Oh my God, I'm so close. If the Gligar is a plus speed nature, I'm never playing Pokemon again. I promise you, if the Gligar is a plus speed nature, I'm never playing Pokemon ever again. Do we kill it? Do we outspeed? Bro, there is no way. There is no way. Kyle, great game. Okay, that was an insane comeback. Like I said in the intro, I knew Gholdengo could win, but I didn't know my only options in this match would be either getting 6-0'd or pulling off an insane reverse sweep to clutch out a win 1-0. Props where props are due. Kyle played a really solid game and had very good prep. I made a ton of blunders that cost me my Enamorus and my Chi-Yu, but I am proud of myself for being able to move past the tilt of misplaying in the middle of an active game, identify my only win condition, and execute on it. Absolutely great game to Kyle, and definitely go check him out. You may think he lost this battle, but the man has really never lost. Thank you so much for spending some of your time with me today, and if you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like and subscribing if you're new here. Talk to me about this week in the comment section down below. I will see you down there. Okay, bye.